Please welcome to the stage Swamp Dogg, everybody. Jerry, it's so great to see you. Jerry, it's great to see you again. I was so excited to do this. Before I had my stroke a year and a half ago, and then I was out of commission for a while, I went over to a barbecue at Jerry's house because I was such a fan, and he was coming out with this new record called Blackgrass that was coming out through John Prine's label. His son helps run now, called Oh Boy. So, I had the opportunity. I was like, I gotta meet Swamp Dogg. I was so excited to go over there and hang out with him, and I met his unbelievably lovely daughter Jerry too, who I love. So it was just this incredible experience for me because I've just been so absolutely fascinated by all the different twists and turns in your career and the influence that you've had and the people and the music you've touched. So it's great to see you, and I'm so happy you're going to be celebrating that 84th birthday is coming up,
July 12th.
Which is amazing. Oh, you want me to make sure it works? There we go. How's that? Did it go on?
I don't think it. Yeah, it is on there.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Yeah.
July 12th.
So
the birthday.
Yeah, but 84, man, which is
Cancer.
Yeah.
I don't want cancer. I mean,
Yeah.
astrologically.
Yeah. Well, you're looking great, by the way, and I got to tell you that.
Wish I felt like that.
Yeah, Swamp Dogg, I got to talk to you about, the fact. I mean, we're looking at, you've had this amazing career for all these years, and we think about when you had the first hit as Jerry Williams and going back, and I love that. I don't know if any of you've seen the documentary yet, but there's a brilliant documentary, a beautiful documentary about Jerry called Swamp Dogg Gets His Pool Painted, which is fantastic, and. Like I said, it came out like right after my stroke, so I was like, I found out there's a doc out, and so I literally, as soon as I got the opportunity to see it, but it's just a real heartwarming and really incredible film. I got to tell you.
Glad you like it.
It was great. So talk to me about. So it's interesting because you're doing this. You made this great new record with 10 new songs. That is, it's called Swamp Dogg Contemplates the Afterlife,
Right.
and Steve Greenberg, who is a guy who runs a record label called S-Curve, was a guy who really wanted to work with you. And the fact that he had, a friend of mine, Sam Hollander, who's a songwriter as well, and a dear friend of mine, musician and producer, him and this guy, Michael, they ended up all working with you on this record.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell me about when they came to you with the idea of making a record with you. Did you get a call from Steve?
Yeah, Steve called me and he said, "Hey, man, let's make a record."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay," and we made a record.
Yeah.
I wish I had some filler, but I don't. That's it.
But it was like, that's it. So how was it getting to, I know those guys love working with you. I heard from Sam recently, too, and he, Sam Hollander. He's a great songwriter and an old friend of mine who, has done really well with himself as a songwriter and, of course, as a producer. And he won some Grammys just like everybody there. But he was like, he was talking about what an honor and what a pleasure it was to work with you on this record. And one of the things that, I talked to those guys about was the theme to the record, about contemplating the afterlife. Because, we get to a certain age where we know there's more years behind us than there are in front of us.
Yeah.
And it's, Steve had said to me, Matt, I think it was really brave of Swamp Dogg to want to make this record and kind of talk about the idea of knowing, that, we don't have that much time in front of us. So everything counts, all the relationships, all the things and the people that we love in our life. And, and in
Sound
this
like
journey.
a eulogy, doesn't
No. Well, you know what? I'm glad we're both still here. So forget it. We're not gonna.
I'm getting ready to cry.
So can I ask you, when you knew you were going to work on these 10 new songs, what was with that theme? What was the first song that you worked on for the record when you were starting to think about what you were going to do as far as things lyrically? Because there's 8 new original songs, and then there's 2 covers on it.
Yeah, well, there's a cover of John Prine's "Don't Bury Me,"
Yeah.
and I have vowed never to do a Swamp Dogg album without a John Prine tune on it.
That's so great.
That's my man.
Yeah.
And I've been knowing him since '68, and we've been friends a long time. And I kept a door open for him at Atlantic, and he opened the door for me at Old Boy. Now I forgot your question though.
So no, so you're saying so that opened the door for you at Atlantic, where you're the first black record producer that they hired.
Yeah, on staff. Yeah,
on staff, right?
In-house.
In-house, which was different, because usually Jerry Wexler and and his brother would use outside producers.
Yeah, muscle shows in Memphis. They'd go and cut all that stuff. And it was NAACP, the Fair Play Committee, and CORE. They got down on them because everybody was white, you know.
Yeah.
So, hey, I walked through the door. I just happened to be black. They didn't put no thing out. Let's go find Jerry Williams. Shit.
Yeah.
I walked through, and I had a master that I had cut, and I wanted to be on the label. And they listened to the master, and we went over some details of my past. I had just had a hit record with Gene Pitney, if anybody remembers him.
Yeah, she's a heartbreaker.
She's
which
a
was
heartbreaker.
The hit.
Yeah, it went pop and everything. So people wanted me.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing because that Gene Pitney record, that was one of those things where it was an absolutely big hit for him on it.
Yeah,
Musicor Records.
That was his biggest. I got fired for doing it. They had told me before Pitney came, he was coming in on vacation, and they said, hey, don't you even breathe the same air. I said, hey, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
So, but then Pitney came into my little cubicle and said, boy, I wish I could sing like you. I said, hey, man, you're a millionaire star and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm down on my luck. You don't want to sing like me because I ain't getting nowhere. So, but anyway, if you listen to She's a Heartbreaker, you can hear my voice in the back. He had me to sing it, and then and there was leakage though.
Yeah, leakage in the microphones.
Yeah, because he had one earphone on and one off.
Yeah.
And so he's singing on top of me in order to get my inflections.
That's great.
Is that a word?
Yeah. And it was definitely one of his biggest hits besides, a pity and stuff like that. But that was She's Heartbreaker it was a good time for him. Tell me about that, you going to New York and working in the cubicles and songwriting like so many other people like that they do at the Brill Building and stuff like that. What got you there in the first place? I mean,
Well, I was in Virginia. That's where I was born. And everybody says things like, go to New York, if you got some talent. And even if you ain't got no talent, then they definitely want you to go to New York. So that was the push, like the thing was you had the Arthur Godfrey show and there's a lot of TV shows. And my great aunt who raised me, she would say, Junior, go on up there to New York and get on Arthur Godfrey show. I was young, but I said, hey, you got to be a little harder than that. Just walk up there and get on that man's show. And I never did get on this show. I didn't try. But I ran into Don Covey, who had some great songs and hits. And matter of fact, the first couple of nights I was there, I didn't have money for a room, and so I slept on Don Covey's couch. And we went on to become real good friends. I'll tell you this right quick, though, about Don Covey. He wrote Mercy, Mercy, Pony Time, and all that. And I guess I just didn't see how great he was. And he said, man, we should write a song together. And I didn't have nothing out. And I declined, but in a good way, in a nice way. Because in my mind, at that time, I didn't feel he was a good writer. But he kept getting #1 hits. What was it, Aretha Franklin's, what's the name of that thing? Mercy, she had Mercy, Seesaw.
Yeah, and Mercy was, it was a couple different versions of it. The Buckingham's, all these different.
Yeah,
Did those songs.
I mean, he did great stuff, and he told me when I decided, I said maybe I better go with him because I'm starving to death. He was feeding me, and I said, well, what you got in mind? He said, well, the beginning is gonna be, it's pony time, bookity bookity shoot. Bookity fucking shoot. That doesn't bring anything to my mind. So I didn't go down to Philadelphia with him. I wish I had, but I did get with him later, and we did some things. But
he went down to Philly, you're saying, and he went down and started doing stuff for like Cameo Parkway. And all that, right?
That's where I recorded when I got "Baby You My Everything."
Yeah.
I had just had "I'm the Lover Man," which was on Southern Sound Records, and then Loma, and I wanted to do a different type of song, and the guys that would produce it, nice people, but they made me cut a record called 1965 King Size Nicotine Blues, but it was a political thing with them. They wanted this writer to come on board, so therefore they threw her stuff at me, and I held out for a while, and they said, well, we're not going to let you go. You just going to have to sit your contract out. So I said, suppose I go and produce this record myself and bring it to you. And if you don't like it, then you turn me loose. I said, okay. And I cut it. I took it to him. They kept it a couple of days. He said, well, Jared, we don't like it. So okay. So I was free to shop it. So I shopped it to a bunch of gangsters.
It was all Philly gangsters? Was it Philly gangsters?
No, New York
New York
gangsters. But this was the only way to get to where you're going. It's still kind of the only way to get to where you're going. You got to have somebody with a smile and a gun. That'll get you a lot of places. Yeah. So,
I mean, you saw all that stuff happening. They come out, people waiting outside of those places like the Brill Building and some of those other songwriting places. Take the check, give you some cash, have you sign it over to them. All that kind of crazy stuff that was happening back then.
We used to, and the guys that I got to write with, we would like all through the week we would be hustling to get $25 or $50 to go on to the next week. And rent wasn't but like $7.50 a week. I got behind in that.
That's amazing. But I love the thing in the documentary too, Jerry, where it talks about how you were taking the money if you're making $50 a week, and you were sending it home, to the family too.
Right.
And to your aunt too. You were just helping. You were taking care of a lot of folks.
No, they were. I didn't come from no humble beginnings.
Right.
They had money. They had government jobs, and they were bootleggers.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, and they held crap games and all kinds of shit at the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had things, Yeah. One, I think I made it really because in the back of my mind, although I wanted to make it on my own, I knew I wasn't completely on my own. I could call Portsmouth, Virginia, and they would send me a bus ticket. They won't send you no money, but they'll get you on that Greyhound,
So like you can come home, well, you can come here
yeah,
if it ain't working
I
out.
went back a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, then finally it started working out.
So besides time, and then so that at that point, it was pretty amazing though because writing songs and you tell me about and you got Gary U.S. Bonds and you are back after like 50 years to get you hadn't talked for quite a few years, right?
Right.
But you guys worked together on "Don't Take Her, She's All I Got," right?
Yeah, we wrote that together.
Which is such a great song, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
just because I love when Mike Judge had put you in a Tales from the Tour bus. You were definitely one of the highlights of it. You're so great in that. I loved it. But the story's amazing. Tell me about writing that song and then it getting there because there was another version of it first, right?
Yeah,
Somebody
Freddie
else recorded it. Yeah.
Yeah, I produced that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went gold. And a guy by the name of Bob Tubert, who was over at the company that was distributing my label, he took it over to Billy Sherrill at Columbia. And Billy instantly cut it on Johnny Paycheck and shoom, another million seller.
Yeah.
And then he himself must have recorded this song at least 10 times. Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty, man, you name it. There was so many country covers. And matter of fact, we were up for Writer of the Year and Publisher of the Year, but we went down there.
They trying to make you go in the back because they thought you were a waiter. You
did.
got out of a limousine.
Yeah, I got out of a limousine. Gary and our wives was dressed to the nine and everything. And the help in the kitchen saw us going around to the front, and they ran out, like, man, wait, don't you do that? Come on, you got to go this way. So they led us through the kitchen. I said, man, that's fun as hell. So we went through the kitchen, and then they all of a sudden, we kept walking, to get into the auditorium. And I said, oh my God, them guys gonna get hurt, and most of the country people thought we were white. And here we sitting with a #1 record, country, black as hell, and and we knew we had gotten the scuttlebutt or the talk that was going under the tables that we were going to get that award. Glenn Campbell was overseeing the thing, and when it got ready to come up for Song of the Year, all of a sudden there was everybody had to run in the back behind the curtain and talk. And when they came out, now we already knew from some of the high ups that we were getting it, but some other high ups was higher. So when they came out, they gave the award. She had the happiest girl in the Donna Fargo.
Oh, that
happiest
song, yeah.
girl in the USA.
USA.
But that didn't bother us because first she was in a wheelchair and she had one of those illnesses that just keeps eating up your body. That's what, damn. We hugged her and said congratulations, and we meant it. I said, damn, like now I'm trying to make sure that I leave enough for people to remember me, So it wasn't our turn, but still, and they had sent me a letter too when they had the writers banquet. BMI did, and they sent me a letter saying, sorry you couldn't make it. And I said, we were never invited. Nobody.
So crazy.
They ain't tell us shit. But hey,
You know that story too about when you had your first hit and around the time of Loverman and the other things where you went and they thought you were white. They brought you to like Vermont, right? Didn't you? You did a show in Vermont
yeah, Mount Pelion, Vermont.
and you're freezing your ass off. You're like, oh my god, this is
Yeah,
yeah.
record went #1 up there. Wasn't a black person nowhere. Last time you heard a black say, "I'm going to Mount Pelion, Vermont."
That was amazing. I just love that. I mean, that story too. But it was just like there's so many. There's really when you think about all the chances and the different things you took, and you really always did things in your own individual way, which I thought was great. Can we talk about when you did when you finally decided you're going to use the switch over from Jerry Williams at that point to coming up with the Swamp Dogg name because as you guys were talking about, it was funny in the doc. You were talking about how nobody wanted to be called a dog back then, but you were okay with it.
Right.
You were the first. You were the real
First dog.
you know?
Nobody wanted to be
Music.
called dog.
Yeah.
That was an insult. And but that's what I had decided upon. And I was tired of being Jerry Williams and Little Jerry. Little Jerry Williams had records out.
You
under
wanted to
all
shake
those
the
names.
little thing, right? Because it
Yeah.
adjusts. By that point, you're
Yeah.
like, listen, man, I'm not.
And
little
I didn't
anymore."
want to grow up being like Little Richard, Little Milton, all those
Little Walter.
Yeah, and I'll be 84 years old. Here comes Little Jerry. Shit. I didn't want to be in that bag.
Yeah.
So I keep pausing because I keep forgetting shit.
No, but it's good. We're talking about how you coming up with that name. And
Oh
then,
yeah. Okay. I had lost Jerry Williams. I had started having a pretty good amount of success, and some people even paid me. And as all of them didn't know, as I for cutting shit, for producing and writing, she's a heartbreaker. Gene Pitney went over $1 million. I didn't get a dime.
It's amazing when you think about
I
it.
didn't get a dime.
It's upsetting.
But I kept going, but it brought me into Atlantic.
Yeah.
And when I walked through that door at Atlantic, they knew of my background. The week they fired me at Musical Records, I had 5 records on the national chart that I had produced and written. And just because I adhered to what Gene Pitney wanted, they got rid of me. But and I guess they didn't want to have to pay all the royalties that they owed me too. So, which I never did get.
So many criminals in the business over the years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're in it. They
It's just it's an amazing thing when you're looking back on all of that. But at this point, you were talking about having like five songs in the charts at that period of time. And who did you end up getting to produce at that period that you was most memorable for you? I mean,
Okay.
because I remember you looked over the list and I saw Irma Thomas on there, and there was
Yeah.
some, Aretha's sister and some other people.
Yeah, Dee Dee Ward, we had a thing called She Didn't Know, She Kept On Talking.
Yeah.
Then
Dee
I,
Dee was great. I mean, she.
then I had Doris Duke
Yeah.
with To the Other Woman, I'm the Other Woman. I can write like a woman. I can think like a woman.
And I remember you were being interviewed in the doc where the guy said to me, "Oh, you can write, you can think, and it's because you've always had strong women in your life, right?"
Yeah. I watched the women in my life kick men's asses. I feel sorry for them. But they love me. Junior. Hey, come here, Junior. Let me hug you. Yeah. But I lost Jerry Williams somewhere along the way, and I needed a new mental identity, and it was I had taken LSD for a few times, in which I tell everybody that shit just ain't right. I see, I seen the time I would be sitting here like this, and all of a sudden, all of you would start looking like monsters and shit. And I'd put the mic down and say, "Hey, man, I gotta go. Fuck this," It, but but I lost Jerry Williams, and Swamp Dogg was somebody that I invented that who could sing any kind of song he wanted to. Because as Jerry Williams, I had to try to stay in that R&B groove at all times, like and be like the Chuck Jacksons, the Tommy Hunts, the Freddie. Listen, are you lonely for me, baby? Yeah, Freddie Scott. Uh, and it was a ton more. And I wasn't as good as they were. I knew that. But I was a hell of a good time killer. And to bring me on first, I'd knock them dead until the real deal came on. And I was never going to be considered the real deal, and I knew it. So I invented a category of my own, you know. Could nobody tell me shit about it because I invented it. And that's what I've done here lately with a thing that I call blackgrass, which is my take from bluegrass. I got my R&B band with a fiddle and pedal steel and banjo, and in some cases I got the horns with it.
Yeah, and that's the last record too, the Blackgrass record.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to do another one, and this time this is gonna be Blackgrass too. Willie Nelson and I are gonna be doing a duet together. Colleen Carter and I doing. I'm with 2 record companies, actually 3.
Yeah.
I got one.
I mean, the S Curve story is great too because I'll tell you, that Steve, who by the way I want to tell everybody, Steve wanted to be here tonight, and he got caught up in New York. He had some stuff that got him stuck there, but Steve, who signed you and did this record, we had long conversations about it. But it was cool. He was doing a funk compilation years ago that he was putting together, and he wanted to license a song from Rat On, which was "Do You Believe?"
Right? Yeah.
"Do You Believe" was the first song on the album, and he wanted to license that for this funk compilation.
Yeah.
Which is what brought you guys together in the first place. He was like, man, and he reached out to you to do that, which was cool.
Yeah, I like working with him, but now he had a heart attack a few days ago. And he's in Portugal. But he sounds great. He says he's gonna be in New York. When we come to New York.
Yeah, he's very fond of you, and he and I like to talk about the music we love.
I've been knowing him for like 40 years.
Yeah, he
man.
said that's so great. So he was so excited he wanted to put this record out with you, and he got back together with some of the guys like Sam and Mike, and worked with them on this. And it's one of the things that's really really cool about the record. You again doing a Waka 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 with Gary U.S. Bonds, which is so cool. Tell me about that. Like when you guys became friends and got to know each other, was that like, did you know him in the period when he was doing like New Orleans and those songs, or
was he was getting those million sellers? No.
Yeah, it was after that, right? It was after quarter.
I didn't know him. I admired him. I used to see him go by in his yellow convertible Cadillac, and on the way to a gig and something like that. And he was like the biggest thing happening out of Tidewater, Virginia, which is Portsmouth, Norfolk, Newport News, Hampton. And I'm happy for everybody who can get a hit record. It's hard to get a fucking hit record. But he had several number ones, top 10s and everything. But then one day he moved into, we lived in a housing thing, but all the houses was hooked together. I kept seeing this Cadillac, and come to find out, it was Gary. So I went over and reintroduced myself. I had been introduced to him a few years earlier, and we started talking, and ain't too much to do in Portsmouth, Virginia. And so if you find a friend, boy, you hold on. So
Which is great.
so we found we had some of the same interests. One of them was seeing how much liquor each one of us could drink. Uh, if we wrote some of our best songs drunk on our mother. That's what the real ideas come. There's a song on the Doris Duke album, "Congratulations, Baby," who she and the baby in her stomach, they talking to each other. It is congratulations, baby, sleeping there inside of me. I forgot the words, but anyway, it's you can still hear it. You go on what is it? What's it? Spotify or that other
Or
one?
Apple or any of those. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull it up. And it was a great album. I mean, hell, like it did a little over 1 million, and
But it's great though. It's really cool that you guys had gotten back together and worked on this record
Yeah.
together. And I love that you covered Jenny Lewis' "Acid Tongue" on this record, which is fantastic. It's a great song to begin with, and she collaborated with you on the last record, so she'd been with you before, like she'd done stuff, and Justin Vernon,
yeah,
had done stuff with you
yeah,
as well.
Bon Iver
Yeah.
or Bonneville. I don't know how he pronounced
Yeah,
it.
I know. Yeah, yeah. You're like, it looks like Bon Iver, but it's
I
Bon
know.
Iver, right? Yeah.
I-
But I just go with Justin Vernon right now.
What did I
It's just
say,
good.
funny?
Yeah, Justin
The
Vernon.
guy that
is
laughed
funny.
his ass off.
No, but it's yeah, but it's cool though. So I like that you decided you did it. It's great that you did it on this new record.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we talked about doing another song. Because John Prine has been your friend for a long time,
Right.
and his son, of course, had signed you and worked with on that label. when you
Right,
guys had
right.
which, on the Blackgrass record, which was so
Yeah.
cool because that's why I got to finally come over and meet you, which was a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. But tell me, so working on this record, when you had to make a decision, so you picked out that song by John Prine. But tell me about the Jenny Lewis song. Was that something that you'd heard that you thought was cool, or just
Acid Tongue.
yes?
It was all about dropping some acid.
Yeah.
And
And we, having done Total Destruction of the Mind and some of the other great
Yeah.
history that you have on after Rat On.
I'm going to try to sing Total Destruction today.
Yeah, great song.
It
Yeah.
takes a lot out of me, though.
Yeah.
That I'm more like to leave it for near last, if not last.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like those, I mean, yeah, because it's a theme that you've approached before through past
Yeah.
earlier records. in
Well,
the
you talking about
70s.
the new record, Contemplate?
Yeah.
The word got out for a minute that I was gonna kill myself or some shit, and which I ain't about to kill myself under no circumstances.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing that bad. So I'll go all the way back to square one. I don't care.
Yeah.
Long as
Well,
I can
we are
breathe.
glad you're still here. We want you
Yeah.
to be around. You've made a lot of great music. You got to stick around. Man, I'm excited. We're going to come down and see that show that you're doing. It's coming up. I'm going to mention it, too, because for everybody who is within the area, you're going to be doing this show, which is going to be your 84th birthday party and record release show with Ben Vaughn Ensemble coming up July 11th. And I think that's great that it's going to be happening at the Venice West, which is
Yeah.
going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So we should definitely check that show out. But and I love it. And throughout the years, people finding you and falling in love with your music. One of the things that was cool was when I was at your house, we saw Johnny Knoxville there, and I didn't realize, of course, at that point, you guys had already filmed the stuff for the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike Judge, who had put you in.
Yeah.
I loved you in that Johnny Paycheck episode. I mean,
Yeah.
you were phenomenal. I mean, that was one of the greatest cartoons I've ever seen, in my opinion. Seriously, I mean, there's a lot of ones I love, but I absolutely love that, and thought it was fantastic. And he's also been a big fan. And
Yeah.
a big
Square
supporter.
Bob. Square Pants. What is it?
Yeah, it's one. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Kenny. He was there.
Yeah, he was there too.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of good people there. There were a lot of
Yeah.
people. There were some other musicians there. It was a great time all the way
Yeah.
around.
Have you ever heard his band?
I've-
Tom Kenny. and the high seas.
Yeah,
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 'cause we worked together a couple times, and once in New Orleans and once in L.A. Uh, I'm crazy about him.
yeah.
He's yeah.
That's great, man. And so, with you, is there any? You know, I always wanted to ask you because you've made so many great records, and you've been doing stuff since I need a job, so I can buy more auto tune and things
Yeah.
like that. It's just like fun. The records, and around that time, and I just want to say, I mean, have most of you in the audience tonight seen the documentary yet? Have you seen it? It's phenomenal. Swamp Dogg gets his pool painted, and I remember coming to your backyard and seeing the cover of Rat on there, and it knocked me out. It was before the doc came out, and I was like, I loved it because I love the album, and I was just like, this is the greatest. It was a pretty amazing thing.
Cover.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you,
Yeah, that's in the bottom of my pool.
how can I buy that shirt? I need to or buy one.
People still want it. As a matter of fact, we just running off a few now. I think they're ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one. I want
This
to.
is from 1972,
It's amazing.
and people still talk about my rat. And that the good thing that makes the rat prevalent at all times is the fact that this album cover was voted. It stays since 1972 in the charts of the worst album covers ever made. So whenever there's a conversation about it, it comes up. We sell a little more records. And I got one got 13 songs on it called 13 Prime Wieners, and I'm inside of a hot dog.
Yeah, that album
You seen
cover's
that?
amazing. Yeah, I just ordered it. I got it on vinyl because I realized they repressed them. You guys repressed them, right?
Yeah,
So I'm like, I'm gonna buy one of those. It's on colored vinyl too,
yeah.
which is great. So yeah, I'm glad at a lot of those. So at that period of time too, like when you when you had the opportunity to put those records out again, did you own the rights to them, or did they revert back to you after a period of time?
Some of both.
Yeah.
Most of the companies that I was with, they didn't want them.
Yeah.
And we didn't. Everybody didn't see the future, which was going to go from vinyl to cassette, cassette to CDs.
Yeah.
Now CDs to some other shit. There's, but now it's difficult to even know how well you're doing. Somebody got to tell you, because all the downloading and shit, it doesn't show up anywhere.
Yeah.
You have a gold, you get a gold record, but it's done by the equivalent of so many hits.
And plays of your.
Yeah, and you don't know how many hits it is. No, nobody knows but like maybe two guys at the company. And you
And they don't always want to tell you either,
yeah,
right?
and so you can't say you're wrong, you can't say you owe me money, you can't, just hope that there's somebody nice. Now like Steve, I signed with Steve, and Steve is fair.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he's in the hole as it is right now, because I spent all the money on the record.
Yeah.
But so that proves to me that he will do right. So, this record business is, we call it the record business, but it's not the record. It's just music business now. But I'm not bitter about none of that. I go with the flow.
Yeah.
I can't change it. I'm going with it.
Yeah. And you always have. I mean, that's the thing that's always been really interesting. And I mean, Yvonne what an amazing, when I saw the documentary, what an amazing woman.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife was just, and you guys were, what a partnership, and it was a beautiful thing. It's
I just about everything she told me was right. And sometimes I said, can't nobody be right all the damn time. So I would do just the opposite to find out she was right. Shit. So I started listening more.
She was an incredible woman, and I love the fact that she was by your side through so much of the stuff that you did. Besides, like being, as you watch, if you see the doc, you really see that, and your love for her, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
For me, I was really, and everybody that I've told to watch the film, or that that I know that have, were really moved by it. That love story between you and her, and and I think it's amazing. And you have such an amazing daughter. Jerry's incredible. She's such a, I'm glad she's here tonight. And
she's my manager.
Yeah, I love her, man. She was so great,
great
when we were over your house. Let's hear it for Jerry, everybody. She's an amazing woman and a brain surgeon too, which is amazing. And I love,
yeah. I can get in it by the brain operation half price.
So, we should also talk about, there's so many, the ideas that, what I love also that people will find out about if they're not really aware is how much what you did as an artist and what you did with being an independent label, independent source was a major source of inspiration for, other R&B and hip hop artists, especially with the early days of rap and hip hop. You guys really helped a lot of people get a leg up and start and realize that they could do things on their own.
Yeah, well, one of the groups that I had, and we had good success, was World Class Wrecking Crew, which included Dr. Dre. So I was managing Dre, the whole group, and we were selling records like they were going out of style. And these guys was making money because we was going to the distributor getting the money like every 2 weeks. We didn't need him to hold our money for months. So look, you just got paid. Now we want to get paid. Yeah. And they were all underage, including Dre. And they were, walking around with a few $1,000s every week in their pocket. And I kept booking them all over the place. They were, I had gotten them a bus, a plane, a charter plane, and there's one other thing: the bus, the charter plane. What was the other way of travel? Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I rented a helicopter a couple of times to bring them in. Yeah. But what had happened, they had told me when I sat down with them, I said, now what you guys want to do? The record was selling good. And he said, well, we want to make $10,000 a night. I said, okay, I'll get you $10,000 a night. But I'm going to work the shit out you. So they would have like 3 gigs in one night. Like they might play Louisiana and leave out Louisiana and go straight to Houston, Texas, and from there. But we had transportation set up, and so I wasn't giving them $3,500 a show, but they were making $10,000 a night. Yeah. So that I did what I said I was going to do, and I lost out on them. I made lots of money with them, and so did they. They got the major label blues. Sony Records, who wouldn't even listen to them at first, all of a sudden went to them and started romancing them behind my back, and then finally they came to me and they said, man, Sony wants us. I said, you making more money now than you going to make with Sony. You getting your money every week. You got to wait 6 months, 30 days after June you get paid. That's the way they 30 days after December 31st, So, like, you're not even getting your shit every 6 months, But they wanted to go because they were going to be on Michael Jackson's label. He was going to be on Epic. I said, man, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I mean,
we were doing good.
You were doing good with it, which was great. I got to take, so I'm talking, I want to take a couple questions from the audience because they told us our time is getting a little
Okay,
tighter.
I'm sorry.
So we'll do that. But I just love that. Listen, I mean, again, you help so many, and I think I love that. And I'm so glad that you're still making great music. We are really excited about this new record that's coming out on the 19th again. Great. Swamp Dogg, of course, is he contemplates the afterlife. I'd like to take some questions. If you hold up your hand if you have a question for Swamp Dogg. Hello, guys. I can't really see, so I'm trying. Anybody got an arm out there? Yeah, there we go. Okay, great.
What was your introduction to John Prine? How did that happen?
I was at Atlantic. I was head of black music, but for some reason, Al Bonetta, which was John Prine's partner, they came to my office and talked to me, played me the record Sam Stone, which was the first thing John had done, and they knew about the cut that was getting ready to happen. I didn't even know about it at that time. And I listened to the record and I listened to the song. And to me, and still today, Sam Stone to me was one of the greatest songs ever written. And I did not, everybody I didn't want to record, Atlantic told me just scratch off. They gave me a paper with a bunch of artists' names on it. People who weren't going to ever make it in life, like Patti LaBelle, the Commodores, the Drifters, I record all them, And I wanted to keep John because John was such a hell of a songwriter. I hadn't gotten as deep into country as I've gotten, but I still knew there was a hell of a talent there. And so I made sure he stayed. That's all. And I'm glad I did. Glad I did. Sometimes you get your blessings 30, 40 years later,
Yeah, it's a great thing when you guys, when you did the song again and it was just in the film. I love that.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment. And what a song that song is anyway. I mean, talk about the absolute honesty and the picture that it paints for you. When I was a kid and heard that as the first time, because you got to remember I was really young when I heard that song, and I was like, just the subject matter. It was intense.
Yeah, I still do it.
It was honest, and I love that you do it. So
yeah,
that's great. Is there one more question someone wants to ask before we head up?
Lady here.
Okay, this is great. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Karanya.
Hey, Karanya.
California. But my question to you is your song "Lonely." Did you write that?
Which one?
Lonely.
I'm so lonely. Yeah, I wrote it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What was the process like for that?
I allowed a couple of other producers to come in with me, Ryan Olsen and the hell else was it? Well, anyway, they come from a punk rock background. Huh?
Oh, Justin, it was.
Yeah, Justin with Bon Iver.
Justin Vernon. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Vernon, and he's funny. It's weird. I went to one of his concerts one night. It just goes on and on and on and on. And they sell 1 million.
Yeah.
I said, where are these people?
Yeah. It's amazing.
But I'm happy for him. But now, wait a minute. What did you say?
She was asking about Lonely.
Huh?
What was the process of writing "Lonely"?
It was actually a song I wrote for my wife, to my wife, although she was deceased. And I just turned it into a song that sounds like she just went out of town, that type of thing. But that's what it was. Every now and then I'll write something just for me, just to quell my hurt because I still hurt. I still hurt where she's concerned. She's the greatest. She's I remember there was one thing I told her. I was getting ready when I was signed to Chrysalis Records. She says, "What are you planning to record?" I said, "I don't know. I'm gonna take the money and I'm gonna make a whole record about my penis." And she said, "Oh, you gonna make a single?" I couldn't get mad.
Oh, that's the greatest. Oh, that's amazing. You know, with that's so great. I love that. I got one more quick question I want to ask you about the final song on the new album, since we're talking about the album coming out. Final Approach is the last song on the record. Right. And at the end of the record, you talk about, you kind of mentioned, you know, Sam Cooke, and, you know, and you know, Otis and the guys and Chuck Willis, guys who did not know. I mean, these some of the most successful things and biggest songs they made came out after. They posthumously. I mean, Otis Redding's song went to number one after he had already, you know, that tragic plane crash. But
right.
Tell me that was about that idea. Was that what you were thinking about as you were writing that song? Just like, I mean, because of those guys, it was like just the fact that they, you know, that those great records came out after they had passed. And they had a lot of good ones before that, too, of course. But,
yeah,
you know, it was just having those posthumous hits. It was a really interesting perspective to come from that. I thought it was, again,
yeah, well, it
dealing
was
mortality.
I figured I had always said that I wouldn't write or sing songs like that, you know, about like cashing it in and shit, because you know, sometimes God be walking past and he said, "What you say?"
Yeah.
So okay, come on, yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
But I was afraid of those songs. I didn't sing them on in the early days, but now I'll sing them. So I'm so close to the edge, it don't matter to me now. You know, not that I ain't looking for death now. Don't get me wrong, but I mean I have finally accepted the fact that there is going to be one. You know, so.
Yeah, so I mean, well, we hope that's not anytime soon because we are so excited to tell you.
Well, I got people in my family. My family lived to be 103 and all that kind of shit.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. You should imagine yourself trying to get a recording contract when you're 101. I'm lucky at 83, would be 84 in July, but I mean, who's signing up 84-year-old people, you know?
I think it's great, don't you? I mean, I think it's phenomenal, guys. So thank you so much for talking to us today and sharing not only the beautiful stories, but the incredible stuff. And love having this with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great to do this.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to step off for like a few minutes before the performance, but Swamp Dogg and his band are going to perform for you. So everybody just hang tight, and thank you so much.